This is Group 1, Socratic Seminar, Block 1, on the book Persepolis. Okay, you guys can go ahead.
I say we started out by talking about the introduction.
So according to the introduction, what stereotypical image is... I can't pronounce that very well.
Socratic.
Socratic? Trying to dispel.
I think that Islam has to do with terrorism.
I definitely agree with that, but I definitely think that there was more than just Islam. I think that they also talk about stuff like fanaticism and things along the
Fundamentalism? Yeah, that was
That was just...
it was on the second page, second last paragraph.
But it is almost like Iran as a whole. It's just they picked it as just related with terrorism, fundamentalism, and fanaticism.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think she was also trying to say that Iran has like a wealth of history, and it's not just like an uncultured place as some Americans might see it as.
So like people need to know like the full story. Like,
Yeah.
what other than those three.
Yeah.
Also,
But-
like, go ahead. You can go.
That was attractive.
So like, and also like, cause like we hear about heroes like all throughout history, and there's also many heroes from Iran, but they're never being told, and they're just like forgotten. So that's another reason why she wants to write this story, to bring up heroes who are forgotten.
It's basically like the people that were in the political prison, that were kept in political prisons or killed during the massacres while the Shah was still ruling. So is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But like, cause she said like, to make sure those who sacrificed for the greater good of Iran should not be forgotten. Cause a lot of people died, trying to make sure this revolution is like, gets going, you know.
I think we can move on to the next chapter, the veil. And how was education affected by the new region? Why?
Education meant that because the new regime basically separated by gender, and it wasn't co-ed anymore. Because we saw on page 4 where they did have the male students and the female students split off into separate doorways, so we can interpret it in a way that they did split the co-ed schools, and bilingual schools were also shut down because the regime saw it as decadent.
Yeah.
Or represent Western culture.
I agree with you because women have to wear the veil over their head to cover their hair and stuff.
But what does that like represent? Like, what does it represent?
I think that it represents Islam. No. Wait.
I said the veil represented that like the schools were becoming religious, because it said it was a French non-religious school and then it was like becoming religious.
But I also like, feel like the veil also represents like kind of like the control of the Shah, like how they want to just like have everything their own way. Just cause like cause a lot of people aren't like really religious, you know.
Hey Jamal, what do you think of this?
Of the veil?
Yeah.
I think it represents maturity in women, and because
What do you mean by maturity? Cause like these are still like kids, you know, they're like still going to school. Like they still don't understand why they have to wear it.
I mean, I think it's kind of unfair to women because they have to cover up and men don't really have to like, do anything towards like religious beliefs and stuff that they're trying to make of it.
I think the important thing is because later on in the story, they do talk about why people wear the veils, because I think it was in Islam where they think that women's hair like emit rays that cause men to be perverted or something like that. That is definitely a reason, but it is definitely unfair because, well, yeah, women have to wear a veil, but why don't men?
Why don't men have to cover their beard?
Yeah.
I think the veils should be represent to be modest or
To be modest?
yeah.
Being modest.
Alex, anything to say?
About the veil? I think it does have to do with religion. also think like it's not fair that women have to wear it and men don't.
Can you kind of like explain why you think that way? Why?
Like why I think it's not fair.
Why do you think it's not fair? Yeah.
Because like men don't have to wear it, like they don't need to cover up, just the women.
And I also like agree with her because Jane's mother was in the newspaper because he was protesting by not wearing the veil. So a photographer took a picture of her and she had to like dye her hair and wore sunglasses and cut her hair short. And I don't think that's fair because she probably didn't really see that.
No, the thing is, she cut her hair. I think that she cut her hair and dyed it and all that to hide herself because she didn't want to be hated by her neighbors and the rest of society. Because I think most of society at that point, or a vocal minority, if anything, definitely disagreed with what her mother thought should be right or allowed. So she probably would have faced prosecution and harassment if she didn't pay herself.
I agree with Timmy, because like on page 5 you can see there's a lot of people protesting for the veil. It's not just people protesting against it.
But also like the reason why she dyed her hair is because like she just didn't want to like be like get caught by the Shah, because like as we saw in like the chapter Heroes, those two guys went through severe punishments, and who knows what they would have done to one.
I feel like the veil is kind of a symbolism of an antagonism in the story, because multiple times, like when you see either Margie wearing the veil or someone else wearing the veil, they're generally being oppressive in some way to the main character Margie. So I think that's like it's an interesting point about the story, just how what the veil symbolizes to her.
But like, it's not really oppressive because like she feels because she's also like religious, because like she wants to get Christian, so it's not really like it's somewhat oppressive to her, but like she like still like believes in the religion.
I think the important thing is that we have to clarify that she wanted to be. She used to want to be a prophet, but later on she does explicitly say that she doesn't want to be a prophet anymore because she might either disagree with the religion now or she just didn't find it right. I think is the word for it. But she does in later times she does say that if you show a few signs in your hair, you are opposing the regime and how you have to wear a veil. Just like, and otherwise she wouldn't have opposed it if she had no hair showing. And Margie does have hair showing in most of the chapters where she is wearing a veil.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I forget what page it was on, but there was that one picture where like half of her was wearing the veil and half of her wasn't wearing the veil.
It's page 6.
Page 6? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, like it shows how she's not sure what she believes yet.
Well, I think that this picture kind of shows like how she has like kind of like when she's wearing the veil, she's kind of like limited to what she can do, and when she's not, she's like, you know, she can express her ideas and stuff like that in school. And yeah, I think the veil kind of prevents her from being free to what she wants to be.
2-minute warning.
I think we should move on to let's say the water cell that we have in the chapter.
Water cell?
Water cell.
And Margie used to think that a king was chosen by God, and yeah.
The only reason why she believed it is because it said the only reason why she believed that the king was chosen by God because it just was said in her school book.
And I feel like this Shaw was trying to have a lot of controls over the schools, and that's why he was giving them the school books that said he was chosen by God.
Yeah, it heavily influenced like the kids, because like they all believed it.
I think it's because kids are like the next generation. So like if he can get like the kids to like believe that he is, then like the future will. But further on in the story it says how like what happened with like their family and like how he wasn't actually like chosen by God and how it's just something that he's trying to enforce on the people.
I definitely agree with you because it does say where the previous Shah, the first Shah, was chosen by the British and the French because they wanted control over the oil in Iran. So they caused the coup and then put the old Shah into power so they could get the oil for themselves without having to deal with the emperor and having to do treaties and stuff because they already have control with a puppet in the government.
How do you feel about the Iranian politics now?
Honestly, like, I'm not really sure. I didn't really read this one.
Jamal, what do you think
Well, what?
about Iranian politics, how the Shah was put into power?
I think because of a puppets thing. Because
Okay, let's have a wrap up, a real quick wrap up. Lee, you want to give us a wrap up, and then we'll turn it off.
I think we talked a lot about the veil and like how it's not fair that women only has to wear the veil and men doesn't. Because they have to cover themselves up, but men doesn't. And for the water sale, that that the king was not chosen by God because the Shah was like put in power by those countries for like oil and stuff. And then that's how like he chose the king, I think. And yeah.
All right, good job, you guys. That was 11 minutes and 55 seconds. Nicely done. And this will be up on YouTube for you.